Hi, my name is Dan and this is Engelgeist. Thank you for tuning into my channel. This is the October Tarotscope for the sign of Gemini. If you have a sun, moon, rising, or possibly a Venus in Gemini, if this turns into a love reading, you would want to cross-watch this video. This is for the month of October, as I said. If you like this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up, a share, a comment. If you choose to subscribe to the channel, please hit the bell so you're notified when I put up other videos. I do charm divination videos and all sorts of other stuff that you can see on the channel. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Engelgeist333, and you can follow me there. And let's see, I did just shuffle the cards, but as I was starting to do the reading the first time, I got a call from my mom. So she kind of cut off the video, but I'm gonna just not shuffle the cards and get straight into it because I'd only seen the first card. So this first card represents as how your month is going to be during the month of October, like where you're going to be resonating most of the time during October. So this is the Hermit card, and as I was saying before my mom called, was that this is a major arcana card, so to me this feels like this is going to be a quiet month for you guys, but a big month. There's a lot of energy with this card. This is no joke. This is about taking the sort of the experiences of the past and sort of transmuting them and understanding maybe the pain or the suffering, the uncomfortability or whatever those situations were that we maybe had to step away from, and like sort of assimilating that knowledge and taking that knowledge in and healing ourselves. So to me, I feel like it will be a busy and impactful month for the Geminis, but it may seem quiet and sort of lonely. The Hermit to me is about learning and knowledge and sort of deepening that knowledge within oneself. But when I look at this card, and what I was saying earlier when I first originally attempted to shoot this video, was that I feel like it's really about having finally made the decision to walk away from the situations, jobs, relationships, things that aren't serving you, and taking those lessons, taking what you learned from that pain and moving on with it, right? But the month of October is going to be the month where you kind of let those lessons settle, let that knowledge become, like really take ownership of that knowledge, heal it and move on, okay? From a place of quiet empowerment, if that makes sense. Now the next card is the Foundation card. This card tells me a little bit about what was going on for you guys beforehand, before the month of October, that will, that sort of put everything in place the way that it is, okay? So this is the Nine of Wands, which is integrity. And it's interesting that this card comes in behind the Hermit, because I definitely feel that there is some sort of pain that's going on here in this Hermit card. Like, I feel like the Geminis are sort of stepping back, going inward, assimilating what's been done to them or how things have been handled and how they've had to maybe make choices to walk away. But this is the foundation of it, which is in a beautiful card, which is the Nine of Wands, which is integrity. To me, again, I do see a little bit of loneliness here, but I feel like you guys have, in the recent past, have had to stand on your own 2 feet and really stand up for what you believe in. You've had to have integrity in all that you do, and maybe those around you haven't always had that same level of integrity, hence why I feel like you're pulling back in the month of October with this Hermit card. But it is a benefit for you to pull back. If you feel like, oh, well, maybe I'm isolating, maybe I'm, I might not, maybe this is the wrong thing to do, I think that you might be actually doing the right thing by taking that time, taking that space, assimilating that knowledge, and really figuring out who you are and how this integrity card is really what's driving you. This is an integrity of the spirit. This is a beautiful, beautifully strong card and spiritual card. So you've been doing things right up until this point. I get a feeling that, and I'm not saying that you're going to do them wrong. What I'm saying is you've been doing everything as right as you can within the given situation. But I feel like with this Hermit card, the situations have not been doing as right by you. Does that make sense? And so therefore, you're going to have to pull back. You're going to take your knowledge, your awareness, what makes you special to these situations, and retreat a little bit in the month of October. And I think that retreat will actually have a healing effect on you, even though it may feel lonely or it might feel questionable as if you're doing the wrong thing. Now, This center card here is what I call the solar spirit card. This is what your solar spirit will be working on during the month of October. So this is the Ace of Crystals, which this is the brilliance card. I love this. This is like exploding forward in thought. This is brilliant thought, brilliant idea. So I feel like this time, it's almost like going into hibernation for you guys. This Hermit is all about knowledge, gaining inner wisdom and knowledge, right? Your spirit wants you to find this Ace of Crystals, this new thought, this new idea, this new way of being, and bringing it forth with such clarity and almost an explosiveness to it, right? So, I think that this is sort of the reward for having lived from this place of the Nine of Wands, from this integrity for the last, I don't know, however long you've been doing it, right? So this time where we're spending in the month of October, where we might be sort of like, I'm using hibernation as an analogy or as an example, but where we might be hibernating or hermiting away and learning our stuff, healing ourselves, getting ourselves back on track. I think it's in preparation for this brilliance to come forth, for this new thought to come forth, for these new ideas to come forth. New ideas about where we want to be in our life, new ideas about how we want to be treated, new ideas about what we will accept, new ideas about what the possibilities are. I think that those things will show up to us, I can't say by October, but I think that this is something that is working in your soul space right now. So it is something that you can expect to happen. It may take time. Unfortunately, in my opinion, the soul works a little bit slower than the human mind. So we have, sometimes we get a little bit impatient when we want things to happen, but this really does say that beautiful things will be coming if you just give it time and give yourself the space to really heal. You've had the integrity thus far up until this point. You deserve this time now. Give it to yourself and await for this gift that's about to come. It will be brilliant and amazing. Now, the next two cards are what I call the outside influences. These are things that can be both either positive or negative. They can be people, events, sometimes things more vague like energies or belief systems that are affecting us, and we should be made aware of them. So we have the Emperor, and I like this card here because I love that we're hermiting, and then we have this gentleman, the Emperor. This is an outside influence, okay? The Emperor is always a gentleman, or probably an older gentleman or somebody superior to us a little bit in a way. He's always a fair ruler in that sense. I think that this could be a fairly stubborn man. It's generally, this card is associated with the sign of Aries, I believe. So it could be an Aries in your life, or an influencing Aries in your life. But this person is a person of authority, a person that might, to me, I feel like they are support. While you are in this phase of healing and sort of pulling back and withdrawing, you might be able to find this person and rely upon them. Allow them to sort of help you, to support you, to guide you if need be. They are smart, they can be a little bit opinionated, and they can be a little bit stubborn, but your best interests are in their heart. Does that make sense? Like, the Emperor is always a benevolent person, but they're not going to let you lay there and whine. They will make you get up and do the work, right? So I kind of feel like this person is in your corner. They might be like a senior to you in some way. It could be like a father, or like a brother, an older brother, or it could be a new boyfriend for that matter, but he would be somebody that would think he's senior to you, even if you guys are the same in age. Like, he would think he's running the show. But not in an arrogant way, just in a sort of traditional, I'm the man, I take care of things sort of way, right? But I think that this is a good influence and a protector. I definitely get the word protector as I'm looking at this card. Like, while you're sort of assimilating this stuff and getting ready for this brilliant change of perspective to happen, this person that represents as the Emperor could be in your corner, sort of like watching out for you and making sure that you have the time and space that you need so that you can heal. Okay, the next outside influence is the Two of Crystals, which is equanimity. Interesting. Some of you guys, this might be a love thing. So I don't know if there's any cross watchers out there with Moon and Gemini. I'll put that in the notes that maybe Moon and Gemini should watch, because this Two of Crystals makes me always think, twos always make me think of relationships. And this is an outside influence in the sense that I feel as though this is... this is a relationship. This is a relationship between two people. It feels pretty romantic to me, only because the diamond always makes me think of like a wedding ring, right? This Emperor could be presenting himself to some of you Geminis out there. And there could be the possibility of this relationship. Some of you might have two different situations going on, like a relationship that you're in that has a lot of baggage and is a little bit of trouble, or has its fair share of trouble, and maybe somebody new is on the horizon. But that could be an experience that some of you Geminis are having, and this new person would be very appealing, but he's, you know, he wants it his way. This says to me, though, also, for those of you that maybe aren't necessarily being romantically pursued or aren't in a relationship that is sort of in need of addressing or shifting or helping, this could be that you're sort of dealing with some of your thoughts or ideas around relationships. Now, this isn't necessarily you in relationships, but it's your thoughts about what happens to you in relationships, how you get hurt. Remember, we're healing here from the Hermit card, so there might be some experiences that we've dealt with in either romantic relationships or friendships where we feel like we've been fucked over, excuse my language, or we feel like we've been messed with. And so we're starting to, that outside belief is starting to become a reality for us. We want to be sure in the month of October to not allow that to become any more real than it needs to be by doing this healing and opening up our mind to new thought. Okay, that we don't want to walk out of the month of October feeling like, oh my gosh, everybody's going to screw me over. I can't really date anybody. I can't trust anybody. I can't. There are people you can trust. You have integrity. You can find people that have that same level of integrity that you do, even if you have experienced situations where you haven't been receiving that back. This Emperor person here can show you that integrity. There is somebody around you, or someone around you, that will treat you with the integrity that you actually already obtain or have. Does that make sense? So this, to me, it feels like it could be an idea or a thought that is in our minds. If we're not dealing with a relationship that needs work or something that we want to change, then we're dealing with the idea that the relationships just aren't for me. I've had too many troubles of recent. I've been a good friend and I've been, you know, treated poorly, that sort of a thing. If that's what's going on for you, by month's end, we want to be away from that thought, and we want to be in this place of brilliant thought, new ideas, new fresh perspectives, feeling free and allowing ourselves to understand that not everything is our fault, okay? And we learn that in this time of the Hermit, where we go inward and we look into ourselves and we understand that everything we did with integrity leading up to this point. Now, this last card is what I call the potential outcomes card. This card gives me a sort of a little bit of a perspective on where things are going to end up for the Geminis in the month of October. This card is not set in stone. It is completely just where everything is at right now as the energy stands. You do have free will and free choice. You can make choices and changes. If this is a negative card as the outcome, you can use it as a warning and make choices and changes to affect the outcome, so this card does not come to pass. But if it is a beneficial card, then it just sort of says that this is sort of generally where the energy is flowing for the Geminis in the month of October. So this is the Four of Wands. This is aspiration. And to me, it's interesting because we have the Nine of Wands over here, which is integrity, and then we have the Four of Wands, which is over here, which is aspiration. And I feel like we've been operating from a place of integrity for a really long time and maybe not receiving that in return. And so we're pulling back in our relationships or our situations that aren't like giving us, you know, what we feel we deserve or that are causing us pain, right? This feels like to me that you Geminis could end up possibly maybe like slipping from this integrity place and going into this place of aspiration where you're sort of fighting a little bit, where you're sort of pushing against the situations that aren't that might be not working for you or driving you crazy. I don't see this as a bad card because I feel like there's strong work and things to be had here. But to me, it feels like it is a step down from the Nine of Wands, which is the integrity card. It feels like you're more willing to get in there and fight and be like, hey, no, that's not okay. And you might sink to other people's levels a little bit. That might be because you're feeling so sort of sensitive, tender, and in need of like some alone time in the Hermit, with the Hermit card. If you don't allow yourself that alone time, you might find yourself a little bit irritable or a little bit more willing to fight. And the reason why I say that is this fist, even though it's a strong fist and there is a strength in this card, this fist is definitely pulling my attention, like saying, you know, the Geminis, the majority of them, if they don't get the healing that they need and if they don't take the space that they need and they don't honor themselves in the right way, they will end up like coming back a little bit more aggressive and sort of getting caught in the struggle or the drama of stuff. And I think that when you're starting out with the Hermit, what you're really trying to do is pull away from that drama in the month of October. You don't want to get sucked back into it, okay? So really make sure that as you are pulling away and healing with this Hermit card, that you're shifting your perspective, shifting your thought, keeping that integrity, and leading yourself to a place of this idea of brilliance and this new way of thinking. Trusting people. Don't fall for these ideas that, oh, relationships aren't for me, or people always treat me badly, and then you find yourself fighting them just because you automatically expect the worst. Okay, so that is your October forecast. It's not necessarily a bad forecast per se. It's just I would be mindful about what and where you are putting your perspective. I would be mindful about taking care of yourself and giving yourself the time and definitely the space to allow yourself to assimilate and heal and understand what it is you do deserve, and then holding yourself to that standard. Making sure that you stay within the standard of integrity, because you've held it for so long. It's led you to this point. I wouldn't want to see you necessarily lowering your standards to a degree because you're frustrated and you find yourself fighting by the month's end in situations that weren't necessarily really deserving of you to begin with. All right. Have a great October. Like I said, please like, share, follow, subscribe. Hit the bell if you do hit the subscribe button. Check out some of my other videos. I have unboxing videos, pick-a-cards, all of that sort of stuff. I look forward to seeing you guys again at another video, and have an awesome October. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and check back in the mid-month and let me know how things are working out for you. All right, Geminis, love you. Take care. Bye-bye.